But here's something else that is heartbreaking, really. It's been nearly 5 years since a KG block at Breman Jamera collapsed on 6 kindergarten children. After the collapse of the building, government promised to put up the KG block and the adjoining school building that was also a death trap. Joy News' Richard Kwejonyako visited the community and returns with a story about these unfulfilled promises and children crammed like sardines in classrooms as a result.
It was in the month of February, and that day was supposed to be a beautiful Tuesday morning here at Breman Jamera. But sadly, the day turned into mourning. About 70 pupils aged 4, 5, and 6 were about to settle for studies when the building collapsed on them. 6 of them died instantly. It got the entire country talking. The education minister visited the scene of the accident in a swift manner. Government made the community a promise, pulled down a school block that also posed a grave danger to the lives of the school pupils here. It's been more than 4 years and that block hasn't been completed. Nana Kwesienin, the third, is the Jasin of Breman Jamera.
When the building collapsed, the Minister of Education, through the Minister of Education, came here. They gave us a promise that they were going to reconstruct the building. Indeed, the construction started, and on my left, you can see that a project is ongoing. It's been in this state for the past 6 years or so, and the problem is that as it's being exposed, the building is exposed to the vagaries of the weather. So the sun is hitting it, the rains are falling on it, so it's weakening the structure. And if care is not taken, something untoward may happen.
Luckily, that particular KG block that collapsed on the school pupils was rebuilt by an NGO within months. But it seems government promise might take a decade or two to be fulfilled.
I'm here in one of the classrooms here at Breman Jamera Methodist School. See, the students are crammed in this small classroom building. This is as a result of government's inability to complete the project it started. So this is a typical classroom here, and this island is the Form 3 classroom. The room is very, very, very hot. I'm sweating, and you can look at the sweaty face of these young ones. This chair, for instance, is being shared by 3 students.
My name is Erica Fezi. So when our teachers are teaching, we find it difficult to understand because we are uncomfortable. We are sitting in 3-3, so when we are being constructed, we are not able to construct it well. We want the government to continue our buildings for us so that we can be spaded.
We are feeling bad. Then we can't even write. 3 people are sharing desks and it's bad for us. We want to change. We plead the government to come and complete the building for us so that we can go and learn.
It's not only the Methodist school block here that has issues, but also the district assembly school blocks. The school blocks that are housing these school pupils are death traps on their own. There are cracks and crevices all over. The floors of these school buildings are piped, and the entire blocks have gone through patching to save them from collapsing. The school pupils here have to close whenever it threatens to rain. An opinion leader in the community, Nana Kojo Enchibu Esiakon, appeals for support. He says they cannot wait for another disaster to happen.
But the unfortunate incident happened some time ago, and it was a big rainstorm which ripped off the roofing of the building, part of it. That has caused this building to be in this state. In fact, every effort has been made through the district assembly, and many letters have been written to the government to come at least to do something about the building. In fact, all has proved futile. Now, this is the state of the building. In fact, there was a KG somewhere around here, and the KG was so dangerous. In fact, it could have caused accident as it happened some time ago. So the teachers decided to keep the children in this computer office.
Well, the DCE for Isikmo Odobin Brakwa, Isaac Odum, when contacted, indicated it was due to lack of funds, and whenever there were funds available, the building would be tackled. I'm leaving the community now, hoping something urgent would be done about these dilapidated structures that are serving as places for academic activities. They are obviously disasters waiting to happen. Richard Kwejenyako, Joy News, Breman Jamera.
Pretty sad, but let's look at the solutions we can find. Isaac Odum is DCE for Isikuma Odobin Brakwa, which is where the school actually is located. Mr. Odum, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
It's a pleasure having you join the conversation. And just to situate the conversation, are you aware of this school building and what has happened there over the last 5 years or so?
Yeah, thank you and good morning once again. Concerning Breman Jamera, the unfortunate thing that happened some 4 years ago, I think before the end of 2017, we were able to get some NGO to actually fix that particular school for us. So as we speak now, that school has been completed and handed over to the school for use.
So that's an interesting picture you paint, because according to our reports, that school is still in a very sad state. We're talking about the one that housed some kindergarten children, and it appears it's still uncompleted, as I'm sure if you're watching your television you can see, and it's still not exactly the kind of situation you would want for students. But is it the same school facility you're speaking of, just to confirm, Mr. Odum?
No, then maybe your reporter misquoted the whole thing. That particular school building that collapsed somewhere early part of 2017 has been fixed. A new one has been built and well commissioned by the regional minister then somewhere before the end of 2017. So if he's talking about another infrastructure that is in a dilapidated state, I don't know the kind of project he's talking about.
Well, that is very interesting information you're putting out there, because we even saw the videos a short while ago, and in a similar situation with students even being crammed in a classroom.
I don't know the kind of video you are showing now. I'm not on the TV to actually look at what is being shown. But the fact is that that school building that was collapsed has been built. A KG block has been built. It was a collaboration between the assembly and an NGO which built that particular classroom block and has been handed over to the school for use. If I may explain further, there are other school building that we, the assembly, have started. That's a 6-unit classroom block.
Okay.
That one is at the roofing stage as we speak. That is a 6-unit classroom block. We actually pulled down a dilapidated one and replace it with a 6-unit classroom block, and it's at the roofing stage now. So I don't know where he picked such information from.
We'll come back to you for some clarity, but I just want to find out, how long have you been DCE?
Since for 4 years now, 8 May 2017.
So you witnessed the collapse of that building, and
no, I came to meet it. When it collapsed in January, I became DCE in May. Right.
And so what you have done about it is that you coordinated with these NGOs, like you say, and erected a new building, and you can give proof of that.
Yes, a new building, KG block, a new one, of course, was built. I started the whole process, and then they commissioned it together with the regional minister.
Okay.
And the deputy education minister was also there. by them. So it was handed over to the final users.
Okay. Mr. Odom, just hold on a bit. We have Richard Kwadwo-Nyarko, who is our reporter, and we want to get what exactly the fine lines, the fine details of the situation is.
Okay.
Now, Richard, tell us exactly which school buildings you visited and whether this KG block, which crumbled back then, has been rehabilitated. We are speaking to the DCE, who says that it's been raised again. Hello, Richard, can you hear me? Richard Kwadwo-Nyarko, can you hear me? Well, it appears we don't have Richard yet. We're going to continue working the lines to get Richard to get into further details with regard to some of the schools he visited and what the specific situation is. Richard Kwadwo-Nyarko, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. So we're speaking to the DCE of Odobring Brakwa, Isikuma Odobring Brakwa, and he tells us that that KG building has been erected again as in fulfillment of the promise made by government. So which specific schools did you visit, and what, can you brief us again, what is the specific situation?
Well, so that particular KG block was not built by government. Government made a promise to construct a school block that was also equally in a dilapidated state. It was very close to the KG block. So when the building collapsed, an NGO came in within months and then put up that KG block. But government promised to erect that building is at the roofing stage. It's been there for more than 4 years, and that is the kind of building we are talking about. And it is in the same school. It is just some 20 meters away from where the KG building collapsed. So it is situated within the same school. So it is a promise that has been given. When I was doing the story, I called the DC, and he said that it's as a result of lack of funds, and that is why that building is there. That has culminated in the overcrowding in the same school. So you saw the videos we showed, the traditional authorities took us round, and then we went round. You saw the cracks that were also even in other school buildings within the same place. Right. So that KG block was put up by an NGO and not the one promised by government.
Okay, Richard, just hold your horses for a bit. And Mr. Odum, I hope you're listening in. But let me engage now Nana Kwesi Enin, the third, Jasehene of Breman Jamera. Nana, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, too.
Great. So what can you tell us about, this situation? You are the traditional leader in this community. I'm sure you were there when, the initial bit happened with the KG building and moving forward. What is the reality?
Yes, the situation on the ground is this. We're talking about two separate buildings. One collapsed about 4 to 5 years ago on the school children, 6 of them perished. Then an NGO came to construct that particular one. I was there when the building was handed over. It was commissioned and handed over. Then when the incident happened, there was another building which was in a very bad state. So the Minister of Education and the authorities concerned promised that they were going to pull down that building because the tendency or the likelihood that it was also going to fall down or collapse was very high. So that building was also pulled down. And then construction started. And it's been more than 4 years now. The building hasn't been roofed. And if you saw the video when your reporter came to my palace and I took him around the school building with my elders, you could see the iron rod that is to strengthen and enhance the stability of the building, all showing, because the concrete is peeling off, so you can see the iron rods in there. Then because that building hasn't been completed, the children are now using another school building, which is not spacious enough for them. So if you saw the video, you could see that the children, under these circumstances, present circumstances that we find ourselves, I'm talking about the COVID-19 condition that we are all going through, which calls for social distancing and what have you. You could see 3 children sitting on a small desk, which hitherto to have been used by 1 people. So it became a problem for the chiefs of the town and our elders, and that is how come we reached your reporter to come and take a coverage of it for the whole world to see and to appeal to well-meaning Ghanaians to come to our aid before something happens again. That is the crux of the matter.
Okay, so Nana,
I heard the district chief executive speaking. He was saying that through the collaboration of the assembly, and the assembly has gotten the one which broke down constructed. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about one who the government promised to do for us, and it has not been done since the building collapsed. And the evidence is there. Everybody saw the videos.
Nana, thank you so much, but don't take leave of us yet. We need to work through this matter. So, Mr. Odum, I'm sure you've heard all of the discourse. So 2 things are clear. The KG building was erected again, but through the efforts of an NGO. But the promise that was made by government, that building still lies dilapidated in a way 4 or 5 years down the line. And now the students, like you saw in your shot, have been forced to go to this other classroom where they are not even observing the COVID-19 distancing protocols. And there is a threat that that building too could collapse. How do you react to that?
Yeah, I think your reporter was actually dealing with 2 different issues here.
So clarify.
What you were telling me indicated that the school building, the KG block that collapsed, has not been fixed. That was the understanding that I had. But it is untrue.
So Mr. Odum, in order not to go outside of the conversation, so let's accept these lines. The KG building collapsed.
Yes.
There was a promise was made because it had come down anyway, but an NGO came and worked on that facility. That is established. There's no argument there. There was a second building. There was a second building.
For them to come. And I did that as a DC.
What did you do?
No, we you see, the government promised. Who is the government? The government, I am representing the president here. So you as a DC, what you need to do is to lobby, go around to see where people can actually support the such facility. And I had the support from an NGO to come and fix those burdens. The NGO didn't do it alone. It was a collaboration. We paid some 20%. They also paid 80% to get that project completed.
What is the equivalent of the 20% that you claim to have paid?
I just heard Nana talking, and I heard your reporter also talking. That project that they are mentioning, it's a 6-unit project. I personally, if we can even do your check, personally detected that the existing 6-unit classroom block there is not in good shape at all. I went there, interacted with the school authority to ask them to even move out of the class so that it could be pulled down. We pulled it down, and we have started a 6-unit classroom block there. As we speak, it is at the roofing stage. It is at the roofing stage now for completion. So if they are telling us that burden has been there over 5, it is not true.
No, but Mr. Odum, is it not the truth? Is it not the truth, Mr. Odum? If you could just listen to me and let us have a conversation. Is it not the case that since the promise was made by government till now that the facility has not been completed and handed over, it is about 4 or 5 years? Is it not the case?
My brother, what I'm trying to say is that what the government promised has been fulfilled. The project that the government promised on that D-Day has been fulfilled by my good self. You understand? But the new one, that's a 6-unit classroom block, came out of my own initiative, thinking that the existing one where the students are occupying is in a dilapidated state. So we need to actually pull those burdens down. I did that in consultation with Nanano and the school authority. It was pulled down, and a new one has started at the same place. And as we speak, it's at the roofing stage. So I don't know why they will
let's find out what Nana
promised and government has not delivered.
Right. Let's find out what Nana thinks about this.
Been fixed.
Okay. Nana Kwesi Ening the third is Jasehene. Nana, how do you react to that?
Yes. The focus is not on the one that collapsed and an NGO came to construct it for the community. Let's give the DCA and his lieutenants the credit that they need for initiating it. We are happy for that. At least they took the initiative, and an NGO came to complete the burden for us. That is not what we are talking about now. We're talking about the one which was also in a very bad state. At the time the KG building collapsed and killed 6 children, they started that project, and I heard him saying that it has not been there for close to 5 years now. It's almost 5 years now when that building was started. But if even it's not 5 years, it's more than 4 years now. So what we are trying to say is that this uncompleted building has created a problem for our children in the community. And apart from the one which is at the roofing stage, the videos did show another building with serious cracks all over the place. I wish your producer can pull that video again. A school building with cracks all over. So if I should put it in context, yes, this is the building I'm talking about, and the viewing community can see it. It's there. Cracks all over. So if I should put the discussion in context, we're talking about 3 buildings. The one which collapsed, and an NGO came to put it up for the community. Then there was another one which was in a very poor state. It was pulled down. Construction was started. It is now at roofing stage. Nothing has been done. Then the third one, which the video is on the screen now, and viewers can see for themselves. You can see, apart from the one which is not completed, there's the third building which has also developed cracks all over. And Nananum, our concern is that we don't want to sit down there for another, sad event to happen. Because if you see the buildings that we're talking about, I wish we had taken shot of the one which behind my people. You can see me on the screen. Behind my elders is the one which the NGO constructed. You can see with the yellow painting. It is the only good building as of now. So the government is working through the DCE. We appreciate what he did when the building collapsed. But we're talking about the circumstances that we find ourselves in now. We need the one which is at the roofing stage to be roofed and completed. And then the third one, which is also a death trap. You can see cracks all over. So we are only appealing to the viewing community, the viewing world, philanthropists and well-meaning Ghanaians to come to the aid of the community before the chiefs are said to have sat on our responsibilities.
Let me come back to Mr. Odum. So what do you feel is the way forward now? So Now, to put it into perspective, we have 3 buildings we're looking at. One you liaised with an NGO to put up, and then there are these 2 others, which could also become death traps. I want you to address that. And can you tell me the 20% that was put in by, as DCE, your community, how much did that amount to? Can you specify?
I'm not in the office now to give you the exact figure, but what I could remember was that the entire project was, I think, 160,000 or so.
160,000.
Yes. That's what I can remember. 100. The exact figure I cannot give. Yes, what Nana is saying is true. Let me give you a picture for the district. We have 664 communities. And schools, communities that have schools, we have over 200 communities with schools. So we could see the challenges that is at hand now. Now I came to meet a whole lot of projects, uncompleted projects. As we speak, we've been able to complete almost all of them. We've completed about 90% of the ongoing projects that I came to inherit, scattered all over. Because we don't want public funds to go waste. We've been able to complete almost all of them. I'm talking about 90%. Now the 10% that is left included that of Jamera and other communities, other 2 communities. So we are left with 3 projects that I came to meet that need to be completed. Now it has been captured in our 2021 budget. So the way forward is simple, that all those ongoing projects need to be completed. But there is pressure because the communities involved, or the number of communities that we are dealing with here, there are many, to the extent that, my brother, it is not an easy...
So Mr. Odum, I get your point. Let me just intervene here.
You sit in office and there are challenges all over, and you have resources, and you close your eyes and say, I will not do it. It can never happen.
Mr. Odum, I get the picture. It's a daunting task. You have a lot to do. But just based on your own words, you say it's been captured in your budget. If it's been captured, it means allocations have been made. So can we look forward to these projects being completed this year in 2021? What are the timelines?
Yes, as I rightly said, you see, the captured project, the uncompleted one, the plan is that we have to make sure we complete all of them before new ones start. So definitely we will complete them within this year before new ones start.
So by December this year, they should be complete. Just to have you on record.
Let me give
Mr. Odum, just to have you on record, please answer the question. So by December this year, those projects would be complete.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That by the end of this year, this project, not that Jamera one alone, there are other 2 projects elsewhere.
Right.
That are at the same stage, and they are continuous projects, and we need to complete them before new ones start. That's what I'm trying to say. So within this year, 2021 budget, it has been captured. So these 3 projects will be completed before new ones start. So that is for the record. So we will complete them before new ones start.
Okay.
So to add up, you see, we are in a challenging community. So, for instance, Ghana Education Service has been in a dilapidated, premises, rented premises for years, since 1950-something. Now I have put up a new building for them, and they've moved to that place. You see, the offices that is overseeing the schoolings, and they are not in good condition at all. So Nana should be patient a little bit. We'll deal with the situations at hand and make sure every project that is ongoing is completed.
Nana, so I'll give you the final the final bite of this conversation. Are you satisfied? The DCE says by close of year 2021, that means by December the 31st, all of these projects will be completed. In fact, he says they have been budgeted for. Is that enough comfort for you, Nana?
No. It's been budgeted. The budget was for 2021. And by the close of the year, the implementation will have completed. It is then unfortunate to say that by the end of the year, something will be seen. Implementation of a budget starts from the inception of budget relates. So I will expect that we will see something going today. Then we will say yes, our worries are being, or our cry is being heeded to. Let me put it on record. Always supported this present government. My people have always, I'm a chief, so I don't do politics. But facts are facts. My people have always been supporting this ruling government. Then let the DCE also understand that I am a chief in the Breman Jamera district, but charity begins at home. I am talking about the need of my people, the people of Breman Jamera. So at the other towns and other communities that he is superintending on, must also be helped. Fine,
okay.
I agree.
Okay.
But I am a chief, and I'm a chief of Breman Jamera. So I am speaking for my people. I am saying that there are two serious buildings that needs attention, and if all the two cannot be done, at least one of them, the people might see something
Nana,
being done on one of them. At least the one that is at the whipping stage, the new one, can be completed for my people.
Nana,
you see,
thank you.
Not that we don't appreciate the government, we don't appreciate what the DC is doing, but it's rather unfortunate that a town that produces cocoa, we come to my town around September to November, and you will see the number of cocoa shares.
So quite a concern there, Nana. But this conversation continues, and we're grateful for your time, Nana Kwesi. And in the third, Jasehene of Breman Jamera. We also had, the DCE for that area, Isaac Odum, also joining, and of course Richard Kwejonya, our correspondent there. It's a conversation that will continue.